Joe Biden has a trademark expression that he's been using for most of his career that sort of now defines his presidency. Do you know what it is? I bet you do. Certainly when you hear it, you'll know. Listen.
Is what they do worthwhile? Come on, man. 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 Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Now, I think the thing about come on, man is that, well, first of all, it's an expression that you rarely hear adults use. There's something kind of juvenile about it. It's the kind of thing you'd say on the playground. And in a sense, I suppose it's an appeal to a certain basic sense of fairness. You know, some guy takes your marbles, you've taken all my marbles, come on, man, give me my marbles back. Or it's an appeal to the middle ground. Let's talk this through reasonably. In that sense, it's an appeal to moderation, because it's an appeal to finding a way in which two people can kind of come to some sort of agreement. It's prodding the other guy to be reasonable. It's Aristotelian in this sense, an appeal to the golden mean, to some kind of middle ground. But of course, contrast the rhetoric and the kind of falseness of it with the radicalism of the Biden agenda. Biden rails daily against every effort at election integrity, every effort to try to make sure that the people vote who should be voting, who are eligible to vote, legal voters. He calls all of this stopping the election and blocking the election, ending the voting, and this kind of absurdity. Biden is trying to pack the court. He's got some bogus commissions stacked with left-wing academics. I'll be talking more about that later in subsequent podcasts. We see ways in which they're trying to get around the filibuster. They're trying to create a federalized voting system that sort of subverts the constitutional structure of letting voting matters be settled by the states. So all these efforts by Biden and his team to push where even Clinton dare not go and Obama dare not go and certainly Jimmy Carter dare not go. So all of this is a break with the notion of finding common ground. And also, this come on man, you might remember Biden used it in the debate against Trump. Trump would bring up Biden family corruption. Come on, man, as if to say, don't go there. There's nothing there. It's unreasonable to even raise the suggestion. And of course, the key to Biden's was whatever my son was doing, Hunter Biden, I wasn't part of it. I never met with anybody. I didn't have any direct connection with foreign leaders. I did not deal with the people who are funneling money to the Biden family. Now, we know from Hunter Biden's own testimony, as found on his laptop, that this isn't true. Hunter Biden says explicitly there was money reserved for the big guy. That's Joe Biden. He wanted his own percentage. He was in on it. So from the son, we know that the father was directly involved, but we didn't have independent confirmation that Biden himself was meeting with his son's corrupt business associates. But now we do. The work here has been done by Miranda Devine of the New York Post, and it's going to be in a forthcoming book, and I'm hoping to have Miranda on this program to talk more about her findings. But her article in the New York Post is a kind of a bombshell, which is that Hunter Biden brought Joe Biden to dinner with a whole slew of shady business partners. Now, what's important about this is that it puts Joe Biden right at the dinner table. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the crooks are all sitting around the table. And we know this because it's also on Hunter Biden's laptop, and there's a photograph of Biden at this dinner. The dinner took place, by the way, at Cafe Milano. I've eaten at Cafe Milano. It's kind of one of those famous restaurants in Washington, D.C., kind of a mover and shaker type of place. The restaurant itself boasts that all kinds of important people eat there. There are photos of all kinds of presidents and senators having met there. So at this kind of power place, you have, who do you have? Well, you have Joe Biden and a whole bunch of Ukrainian, Russian, and Kazakhstan billionaires, mafia bosses, kind of the people who are funneling money into the Biden family. Now, this dinner we're talking about was held on April 16, 2015. It was at the private garden room at this restaurant. And we know that Joe Biden was there, not just from the photo, but after the dinner, Hunter Biden gets an email from a guy named Vadim Polarzysky, an executive of, well, the Ukrainian energy company Burisma. This is the exact company that was paying Hunter Biden $83,000 a month. Hunter Biden, who has no experience in energy, knows nothing about the Ukraine, is sitting on the board of this Ukrainian energy company and receiving almost $100,000 a month, well over, close to $1 million, more than $1 million a year. And by the way, his partner getting another $83,000 a month, also from Burisma. And here's the email from Vadim Polharsky. He goes, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet with your father." So we know that now there's a direct meeting involving Burisma and Joe Biden. And spend some time together. It's really an honor and a pleasure. Now, before the dinner, Hunter prepares the guest list. And here's something very interesting. We know that this is a shady operation because Hunter even says, he's writing an email to another guy, and he says that he's structuring the dinner to pretend that this is a dinner that is connected to his role as a member of the board of World Food Program USA. Hunter sits on this board. Hunter's pretending like we're going to have a meeting to discuss issues of food, feeding hungry people around the world. Here's Hunter's email, by the way. I'm going to read it now. "Okay, the reason for the dinner is ostensibly means in pretense, is on the surface, to show. Okay, the reason for the dinner is ostensibly to discuss food security." And then he adds this critical line, "Dad will be there, but keep that between us." So Hunter Biden does not want it to be known that his father is in on the scheme. But his father was. And so the very fact that this dinner was not on the up and up, hey, yeah, we're having a dinner with a bunch of business guys, so what? No, they knew that this was a shady dinner. They knew that there were business dealings being discussed. The big man was present at the dinner. And let's see who was there. Mark Holzman, who was then the chairman of the Soviet Republic's largest bank. There was the corrupt former mayor of Moscow, who has, by the way, since died. But remember, this is the guy who sent this big fat check to Hunter Biden. Trump brought it up in the debate. The Russian billionaire Yelena Baturina and her husband were there. Devin Archer, it seems, the former advisor to Secretary of State John Kerry, was there. This is Hunter Biden's business partner, Devin Archer. So this is the Biden family racket. And what's so interesting is there it is, red-handed on Hunter Biden's laptop, details provided, dates provided, locations provided. You notice deadening silence from the media. No reporting on any of this whatsoever. And so the cover-up story prior to the election, which was remember the censorship on Twitter? Remember they were taking down any references to the idea of Hunter Biden's laptop, the idea of payments going to the Biden family. Now later the digital moguls like Jack Dorsey apologized, we shouldn't have done that. That was really a mistake, So he corrects the mistake, or at least acknowledges the mistake when it's too late, after there's anything, when nothing can really be done about it. But my point is that the wall of silence surrounding the Biden family's corrupt dealings. This is, by the way, what accounts for the Biden family lifestyle. The reason the Biden family has 3 homes, the reason that if you look at the net worths of Biden and his family, you see something very interesting. Biden's own net worth remains kind of stable. It shows kind of his gradual accumulation of wealth, but mainly through government salaries. But if you look at the Biden extended family, by the way, not just Hunter, but also the brothers, James Biden, for example, you see their net worth soar dramatically. And the reason is obvious. They don't have the same disclosure requirements as Joe Biden. So Joe Biden is on the up and up, but the family members are running the kind of Biden family Corleone operation, and of course funneling money back to dad, which dad himself gets to spend and enjoy this kind of multi-millionaire lifestyle that is inconceivable merely on a government salary. It's certainly not coming from Dr. Jill Biden's earnings either as a community college instructor. So bottom line of it is this family has been in on the take. They've been in on the take from Ukraine, perhaps from Russia, certainly from China. We also know from Costa Rica, from South America. They've been running a global racket. I think it was in some ways modeled on the Clinton racket. And just like the Clinton racket, it is protected by the media. It's almost as if you are a Democrat, you enjoy a certain complete immunity from public scrutiny. And by the way, that's what encourages these guys to think that they can do it, because they know they can get away with it, because they have been getting away with it, and they're still getting away with it. So there's a big cover-up underway. And if it wasn't for the reporting of people like Miranda Devine, it wasn't for the reporting of people who are blowing the whistle and getting the message out, we wouldn't know where the Biden family got all that money.